So a little while ago, I put out a video for producers that was all about how to find artists for your beats. But the thing that I noticed was I was getting a lot of comments from artists asking me how to find producers for their tracks. Well, in today's video, I wanted to answer that question. I wanted to do the sequel to that previous video and discuss exactly how artists like you watching at home can find a producer for your music. Are you ready? Let's go. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is your boy 5Piece, producer and engineer extraordinaire. Thank you for checking out today's video. And the first thing I want to say is I really want you to notice the title of this video. Notice how it says the word how and not where. I'm not going to be discussing where to find a producer because the truth is the previous video I was talking about really covers that area well. Even though that video was intended for producers, a lot of the same logic and principles apply. You could find a producer or an artist in the same exact way. And if you haven't watched that video yet, I'll leave a link to it up above right now. Definitely check that out if you're trying to figure out where to find these individuals specifically. But with that in mind, we're going to really discuss the how, right? How do you find a producer? And we're really thinking long here. We're thinking, how do we find the 40 to our Drake, or the Timbaland to our Aaliyah or Missy Elliott, or the Dr. Dre to our Snoop Dogg? If this is you, this video is going to be very helpful, and we're going to start by really discussing 4 key principles that I think you should be mindful of when trying to find a producer. So with that in mind, let's start with the first one. Have a proof of concept. It's unfortunate that these days everybody really cares about what you've done, about your clout points and all these things, and we're all like this really. We don't want to spend our time or waste our time on somebody that we don't think is worth it. And an easy way to make sure that you're worth somebody's time is to have a proof of concept. What does that mean exactly? Well, have some stuff out there for people to check out. Have some music available. Have some music videos available. You know, have your stuff on blogs. Have content coming out on a regular basis. Be consistent and show that you're actually an artist worth investing in or worth working with. A lot of times, you know, artists come up to me and they have nothing out at all. They have no proof of concept and they want me to just blindly and freely give them stuff. You'll give me some beats. Can you produce this track for me? Can you mix this track for me? And then when I go to check them out, I can't find anything about them. And why would I risk my time and my energy if I don't even know that you could see something through in the first place? So a lot of people, they fall short in this area, and I highly recommend that if you're somebody that's looking for a producer or looking to work with anybody really, that you have some sort of proof of concept that allows them to understand that you are worth investing in and worth working with in the first place. All this talk of proof of concept really reminds me of a story that Chris Rock told. And the story is this. He basically had a car that was really bad. It would break down all the time. And he found that whenever he was broken down on the side of the road and he tried to flag other drivers, nobody would pull over and help him. But the second that he actually got behind the car and started pushing it, somebody would always pull over and help him push it to get to the destination, get it started, or just fix this whole issue that he was dealing with. The thing is really this: you need to help yourself in order to be helped. If you're not putting in the work, if you're not making music and putting it out and taking the chances that come with being an artist, then why would anybody else? So at the end of the day, if you want to have a producer help you, if you want to find a producer that can help you, take the first steps. Make music, put it out there, and create a proof of concept that is incentive for somebody else to want to help you. Now, the other consideration is that you want to network horizontally. A lot of us have this habit of wanting to network above ourselves. We want to reach for somebody beyond us so that they could pull us up, right? I'm talking about industry producers, producers that have hits or have a lot of credits, who have a lot of clout points. We're trying to get these people on our side, but that's going to be very difficult, especially when you don't have that proof of concept, and also depending on the personality of the person that you're trying to reach. Sometimes these people have egos and they don't really want to help somebody beneath them. Well, that's important because what I'm really saying is you want to network horizontally. So what does that mean exactly? You want to look left and right and figure out who's at your level, who's on the same brainwave as you, and work with those people, even if the talent sometimes is not necessarily caught up. I'm a big believer in hard work and that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. You may have heard this phrase before. So even if you find somebody who is not necessarily as talented or doesn't exactly make the beats that you want, but they have the drive and the initiative that they're taking to get better at their craft and they're constantly making beats, well, that's somebody that's probably worth working with, to be honest with you. And even if that person is beneath you, if you're a little bit more talented than them, well, as long as they got that drive and work ethic, you guys can grow and build together. And I guarantee every song that you make, every beat that that producer makes, they get better too. So as long as the two of you are working together equally as hard, you'll get to the destination that you're trying to go to. But the first key that I'm really trying to make you aware of is you don't want to be reaching for somebody that's out of reach, that's outside of your current skill level, and instead find somebody that's at an equal skill level or below and grow together. Now, this third consideration is extremely important, and that is that you want to make it about them. Make it about the producer, okay? A lot of us have this problem. It's me, 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 me. You know, ask. You're always asking. Well, why are you always asking? Why do you think anybody's going to want to help you for free if all you're doing is asking and begging, okay? You can't be doing that. You have to be actually giving, right? A lot of people talk about this. You want to give, and then ask, okay? And this is really the law of reciprocity. If I give somebody something, a lot of times people are going to feel obligated to return the favor and give me something back. Now, sometimes it isn't exactly what you want, but if you're always focused on giving and offering some sort of value to people, they're going to be much more likely and inclined to actually return the favor. And sometimes that favor is making beats for you and working with you as a producer and building up your brand, your sound, and all the other good stuff that comes with being an artist. Now, you have to look at your own skill set. Chances are your own artistry is not going to be that enticing. It might be, but it's not always going to be. So instead, you have to look at the other things that you can do that might benefit the producer. So as an example, maybe you're someone that can engineer themselves. You know how to record vocals and all that. You may want to offer to the producer that you can record somebody else's vocals on their beats, right? Another artist that they're working with. Maybe you're good with graphic design. You may want to offer them, hey, I can create some dope thumbnails or some sort of visual content that'll go along with your beats for YouTube so you can sell some beats online. And maybe you're just a really dope songwriter and you just offer them, hey, do you mind if we just write songs together? I don't want the beats. Let me just write to these beats, record the demos, and then we pitch these to labels, to other artists, and try to make a buck together. That last one is obviously a very enticing opportunity that most artists should be able to do, as long as you're comfortable with the fact that that track is not necessarily going to be yours and something that you're instead going to sell to other people, such as artists and labels. You can see I'm cutting this in a lot of different ways, but the most important thing is you're going to make it about the producer. You're going to make it about helping them and offering them some sort of value so that they see it, they recognize it, they take advantage of it, and then later or sooner they return the favor and they pay you back. Maybe they give you some beats, or they decide they want to start working with you because they like the songs that you recorded and they start to see the vision. You understand what I'm saying? But the first key is just to get in there in the first place, and that's what this is all about. So the fourth and final principle here is you want to have a budget. If you don't have anything of value to offer to the producer, or maybe they just don't see value in what you're offering, whether it's graphic design or being able to record or songwriting or any of that, you have to respect that, because producers at the end of the day, we are extremely undervalued. We are carrying music these days. A lot of times, if you were to listen to a song and it was just the acapella, no beat, that song would not even have half of the impact that the beat affords, right? So us producers, we are really dictating what happens in music today, but unfortunately, we're not getting compensated the same. We're not getting compensated fairly a lot of times. Artists are prioritizing paying for videos and graphics and artwork and lyric videos and for girls in the video and for all kinds of other stuff, but they're not actually paying the person who is, going toe-to-toe with them in the battlefield, which is making the track, right? If I'm making this track with you, if I'm responsible for at least 50%, shouldn't I get something for that, right? That's sort of the logic here. And a lot of times we are not getting paid what we deserve. We might be getting some back-end points or whatever, but if you go out of your way to pay me, if you have a budget in place to pay me as a producer, I'm going to look at you a little bit different. I'm going to respect you, because I guarantee a lot of folks do not have this set up. They're trying to get every single beat for free. It happens here. I'll do a session with somebody and they'll be like, yeah, pull up this beat on YouTube and just steal it from YouTube. Just rip it from YouTube. They're not even paying for beats half of the time. So if you're somebody who's putting paper in somebody's pocket, a producer's pocket, they're going to look out for you. And I can vouch for this firsthand. firsthand because as a producer and mixer, I've worked with so many artists, and I really do look out for the ones that go out of their way to pay me, even if they're struggling. Early on in my career, I was working with certain individuals, and they would make every effort possible to pay me, right? They would go out of their way, and they would always make sure that I was taken care of. And what did that do for me? That made me like them and trust them more, to the point where I started looking into grant writing and learning that area of the music business. And what ended up happening was I started applying for grants on behalf of these artists and ultimately getting them paid and then getting them a budget to pay myself as well. So from that point on, they actually didn't even have to pay me at all. Something else would. Now, of course, this is a very unique situation that I don't do for everybody, but for the artists that really went hard for me, that really tried to help me make sure that I was taken care of, I would do the exact same. This goes back to that law of reciprocity that I mentioned in the previous point. So for you watching at home and listening, I encourage you for sure, have a budget in place for your music. Make sure that you can take care of this producer that you want to work with, because then they're going to look out for you. They're going to put you on to some other opportunities, or maybe they're going to realize, hey, you know what, this guy's helped me so much, or this girl's helped me so much with money by paying me, that I'm gonna now maybe do a couple of things out of pocket, or I'm willing to do things out of pocket to help them, right? These are really key things to be mindful of, but you can't really get there without having a budget and being able to invest in yourself in the first place. Now, these are just 4 things that are top of mind for me when it comes to hiring a producer and trying to find a producer in the first place. I guarantee there's way more things that I haven't even thought of or considered here yet, but I think that if you focus on these 4, you're going to end up in a much better place as an artist that doesn't have a producer right now. If you are a producer that's had some success in this area and has some additional advice, I ask that you please leave a comment down below. Let us know how you can help us. Let us know what experience you've had and how that might change the trajectory for some of these artists that are watching right now. I appreciate y'all for watching. If you haven't done so already, please smash that like button. And if you're new here, definitely consider subscribing to the channel, because I drop a new piece of content every single week, always focused on helping you sound better and helping you make more money with your music. I'm looking forward to helping you guys again in a future video. All right, peace.
5,